Of course, this is how we line up for the playoffs. 4 drivers will head up into Formula 1. 4 drivers will stay or be demoted to Formula 2. We've got Curbs, Dale, Chesnoid and El Taco Man, our initial Formula 1 drivers. And the F2 grid representatives will be Matty D, Punju, Hayden Gullis and F1 Alex. There is everything you need to know about what's going on this afternoon. I'm just going to say, is F1 Alex getting a little few moments in the spotlight in pole position? El Taco Man unfortunately retires. Not quite sure what's happened with him.
Yeah, disastrous stuff. Was in 8th place anyway, the Haas driver, but yeah, resigns himself to the back of the pack. Really impressed with Ches here, though. Currently leading the way with just a couple of corners to go. How's he negotiate the turn 14 hairpin and then the kink of 15 afterwards? Leading the way comfortably, it seems, out in front. This would be a little bit of a shock start to this evening's proceedings if Ches can negotiate the final corner pretty neat and tidy. Is it going to be the Aston Martin that takes it up to the line? Yes, it is. Chesnoid Gaming on pole position.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the chat surprised by that. Tom saying, bro, imagine if Ches got pole. Well, he's only gone and done it. It is the Aston Martin starting on the front row, and just 0.04 of a second behind is the former F2 driver of F1 Alex TTV as well. Curbs taking P3, Matty D taking P4, Dale in 5th, Punju in 6th, Hayden Gullis in P7. A surprising qualifying result there from Hayden, and obviously El Taco Man, who did retire early from the qualifying session. But that's how our drivers will line up for race number 1. As we do wait on the grid, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And for round 1 of the playoffs, we are racing in China. Chesnoid gets a fantastic pull away. So does Matty D in P4, running down towards turn number 1. Now they go. They're going to go 3 wide. We get a horrendous camera angle as they go around the right-hander. But it's Chesnoid who leads our drivers away down the inside. But goes F1 Alex trying to hold on to that P2. But Curbs immediately on the charge with those softer tyres. F1 Dale getting involved now as well, trying to push those drivers through. Hayden Gullis has fallen all the way back to P8 from that race start, so really showing that he doesn't have much pace, and it's all gone wrong for Curbs down there. He's missed his braking zone. The Williams driver dropping down to P5, and that's not what you want from this race start.
Comfortably leading the way, probably not by 1 minute 37 seconds. Is this a move up the inside for Dale? Overly ambitious into turn 1, but gets it done very nicely. And F1 Alex drops down into 3rd place there. Got a couple of cars right on the tail of that Mercedes as well. But Dale, nice start getting up into 2nd and can try and chase after Ches, who of course was his teammate for the main F1 series. Down onto that main back straight. Could this be another overtake and another position lost for the Mercedes of F1 Alex? Look at the overspeed the Williams has got. This should be fairly straightforward. We probably don't want to be looking behind the Williams at this point, because we're not going to be able to see what's going on. Still looking behind. He has managed to get ahead of the Mercedes. Little look at Dale, maybe down into 14. No, thinks that is not the move he wants to be making. It does get back up into 3rd place. Yeah, Curbs is looking pretty racy. Look at the speed he's got. Must be running slightly lower wings than the AlphaTauri, using that DRS to his advantage and up into 2nd place. Really good recovery from that mistake at turn number 6 on the opening lap. Gets back up into 2nd. Can he try and close the gap to Ches? And if he does, you'd imagine he would bring everyone behind in the train with him.
Yeah, we can see as it looks like F1 Alex tried a little bit of a little move down the outside. Curbs, though, is going to be swallowed up here down into turn number 14. Dale runs wide, though. Curbs has the advantage. A little bit of calamity as Punju didn't quite know what to do. And has Curbs just managed to hold it on? Dale goes down the inside, just holds on to P2 there.
Big cluster of cars. Punju has, I think, got ahead of F1 Alex in there as well. Might be side by side with Curbs down the straight, and we could see the McLaren getting up into the podium places. Matty trying to swing it around the outside as well. And F1 Alex tumbling through the field after that little blunder. Him and Dale running wide in unison going through to turn 14. Matty D13 trying to get up the inside of Curbs, but no space there as the door is slammed firmly shut. Well, I think we have. Into the pits we come. 3 cars deciding now is the time to come in. It is the Williams, AlphaTauri and Ferrari. And actually F1 Alex on the mediums coming in as well. So really does not fancy those tyres. Wants to get onto the softs as early as possible. And 50% have stayed out. 50% into the box. So look at this battling down into the turn 14 hairpin. Through goes Hayden ahead of Dale. Curbs under huge pressure from F1 Alex, who dummies over to the inside but then sits back in behind.
And I think Hayden a lot closer to this pack this time than last. Curbs moves to the inside of the track and gets the move done even before DRS becomes available. Could he be swallowed up here by Dale as well? He tries to go defensive to the inside, but the AlphaTauri dives a little bit late. Can he push his way through? He breaks early down the inside, and the medium tyre just getting better traction out of turn 14. It will be the outside line for turn number 15 and 16, and actually Dale, quite an easy pass there on Hayden.
3 of the top 4 places. Probably says to you a little something about the way that these cars are working. That is contact between Punju and Hayden. A little bit of a tap at the back. The McLaren goes spinning off into the pickets on the outside. Hayden managing to stay pointing in the right direction and only loses 1 place to Matty. That could be the top 3 absolutely decided though.
Getting some audacious camera angles as Dale has such great speed with the DRS. Goes around the outside here of the Williams. There's contact, I think, between the two of them as they round the corner up now towards turn number 16. And I think it will be Dale who gets P2. We watch Chesnoid cross the line to get P1. Dale gets the move done up into P2. Curbs holds on to P3. Matty D comes home in P4. F1 Alex P5. And then further back, Hayden Gullis sneaks up into P6. Punju in P7. And El Taco Man takes P8.
Well, it is lights out and away we go. Slightly premature start. It is the ART of El Tacoman starting on pole. Punju in that downs gets a pretty decent start. Will he have a look at the inside? No, it's the Van Amersfoort of F1 Alex. Look at the ART going slightly wide though. That's probably the lack of experience that El Tacoman has got. Hayden flying through in that Prema though, up into second place, and F1 Alex was the big loser there, dropping down into 6th, 7th and maybe 8th. Ches has lost a lot of time down at the back of the pack, but it is El Tacoman still leading. Hayden sending it up the inside though of turn number 3, and we've got a Campos car. Everyone's getting caught up on the outside. Sliding off goes the Campos of, I think that is Curbs. Ches down at the back. El Tacoman goes from 1st down into 7th. It was Dale actually that lunged it in there and made an absolute Horlicks of it down in 5th. Penalty and probably a bit of damage as well.
Yeah, an audacious send up the hill to turn number 3 there for Dale. Maybe a little bit of an experience in these Formula 2 cars as Punju gets pushed wide by Curbs. And this is a little bit of chaos around here.
F1X does get up into 3rd place. Under pressure again, though. Curbs not going to live this one down, but I think he's going to have to concede the place. A little bit wobbly, though, as he tries to pull out. It was a tentative move to the inside. Was sort of 50% in, 50% out. The further back, I think that's El Tacoman and Punju scrapping over 5th and 6th. These two still side by side in the middle sector, but the Van Amersfoort car should have the grip on the inside, and Curbs will concede 3rd place. Finally, he was pushing very hard to get up into 3rd, but yeah, concedes it at the end. And F1 Alex, they're going to go side by side again up the hill into turn number 3. I think they banged wheels there just as they went over the crest of the hill. Hayden with the inside holds on, but that is the switchback performed absolutely expertly. Space on the outside to try and be brave on the brakes. Will he send it around the outside? Yes, he very much will. Got to be careful of that sausage curb on the exit. Given a lot of room, respectfully enough from El Tacoman, but currently just holding 4th place. They're going to go side by side again, though, on the run down into turn 4. Both drivers have made mistakes here in the previous couple of laps. Who will come out on top between these two drivers painted in the Alpine liveried colours of that blue and pink car? Unfortunately, not blue and pink this year, of course. El Tacoman is the winner in that little duel.
Alex has to get this braking zone right, otherwise the Prema will be all in his mirrors. He tries going the inside, down goes the inside, goes Hayden. Late on the brakes is the Prema, and he forces the VAR wide. He just closes the door, slams the door on the VAR driver, and up into P2 goes Hayden Gullis.
Utterly, utterly dominant, like it was for Ches in China. It is Matty in Austria that takes the victory. Are we going to see a drag race up to the line between Hayden and F1 Alex? We certainly are at the over the line. Sorry, it is just over a 10th of a second. El Tacoman Curbs Punju, and then Ches will complete our running order.
And for round 3, we're racing here in Baku. A fantastic pull away from Punju. It will be El Tacoman to have the inside line on the run down to turn 3. It looks like Dale tries a move round the outside up into P2. Can't just hold it, but all 5 drivers have got through successfully. Matty D up in an early position, up into P7 now is the Red Bull driver, but continuing. Dale hasn't had the best of starts, finding his grip around this track. F1 Alex trying to make up positions. Hayden Gullis rather, losing out to Matty D, who's had a stonker of a start up into P6 and already looking to challenge F1 Alex for P5 here.
Into 3rd place, Dale, who's been extremely racy, dropping down into 4th, but that is F1 Alex making a complete mess, and Hayden's in there as well. It's like a party at the apex, or the exit, sorry, of turn number 1, and that is 2 drivers that'll be certainly out of action. Have we got a full course safety car? We've certainly got yellow flags. I'm not sure if it's VSC or full safety car, but that is 2 drivers making a complete mess of turn number 1.
Race Control do indeed confirm that Bert Mylander will be joining us out on track for a few laps of action. Actually, Mr. Dale there going rather deep into turn number 6. And this is going to be absolute carnage. El Tacoman does go before the final corner, and everyone is going to have to get really onto the power as early as they can. It's a straight line charge down towards turn number 1 for the Haas, being chased by the Papaya McLaren of Punju. And actually quite a gap forming between the two of them already. Curbs not too far off the back of the McLaren heading down into here, and Dale has been caught out just a little bit. Curbs contact with the McLaren heading into turn 1. That pushes Punju wide. Lucky to avoid the wall, but that's going to pucker the McLaren's opportunities heading down into turns 3 and 4, as it looks like Dale is trying to sniff a bit of the action here as well.
Down into the right-hander of left-hander, sorry, of turn number 3. Got a car park. What's gone on here? It's El Tacoman and Curbs. El Tacoman's gone from first down into last. What has gone on there?
I have no idea. El Tacoman leading this race. He ends up facing the wrong way. It's absolute carnage for the Haas. I pray for Gunther Steiner's door at the moment. But Hayden Gullis sneaking up from last place on this grid, up into P4, using the carnage to his advantage. And up, nearing the podium positions, is this Ferrari.
And the race is absolutely as Dale's out. He's crashed in the castle section. What a chaotic couple of seconds. We've got a safety car out for the second time. F1 Alex for the second time in the race, missing a considerable amount of front downforce and front wing. El Tacoman is going to be able to catch up to the back of the pack. Dale, though, is the first retirement of the race. We've spoken about sprint races. This is certainly going to be like it. And we are going once again for the third time in Azerbaijan. Is going to be Punju in that McLaren to cross the line, leading the way, but is under a little bit of pressure from Matty. I don't think he's timed the safety car restart to perfection. He's not going to be able to send it up the inside. What is happening behind, though, is a duel for third and fourth place. Hayden try and keep it out of the barriers, doesn't want to find himself in there for the second time this evening, but thankfully Ches holding on to third, and thankfully Hayden keeps it out of the wall. A little bit of a send maybe from Curbs like the inside. No, the Williams backs out of it.
But we weren't expecting it to dry up before the end of the race. But Matty D gets much better traction out of the final corner, out of turn 19 and 20. But again, look, he's just losing out on straight line speed. He doesn't quite have it on Punju.
Yeah, not very realistic to see the McLaren pretty speedy in a straight line. Bit of a slide on the exit for Matty, but he does hold it around the outside, and that is the lead of the race. Punju dropping down into second place. Got some jostling for position further back as Curbs falls to the back of the pack, but he's going to try and hold it up the inside. Clatters into that massive curb on the inside and might drop down into 7th place. Will you try and get it back? Side by side we go down this second back straight. Usually there'll be a helping hand of DRS, but of course we are in intermediate conditions, so no help at all there. Down into turn 3 we go. Curbs should be able to hold this on the inside, and does.
But F1 Alex, not F1 Alex, Hayden Gullis looking to make a move on Chesnoy, moves to the inside before turn number 1, and I think gets that move quite easily. No, he doesn't actually. Chesnoy looks to brake late, but I think that's all Hayden's.
Maybe an extra coat of paint on those Pirelli intermediate tyres. Would have seen the Mercedes in the wall. Ches fighting very hard, tries to hold on to it, but inadvertently allows the Haas of El Tacoman to sneak through up the inside and get up into 4th place. Brilliant stuff there from the Haas driver. Opportunistic stuff up the inside, gets ahead of both drivers. F1 Alex will be absolutely steaming with that.
For the penultimate time, it's Hayden Gullis who will have the slipstream from the McLaren. He moves to the outside for turn number 1. He just doesn't have the straight line speed, though, on this occasion. He can't seem to keep up with Punju without that slipstream. He breaks late, though. There's contact. Punju spent round. Into the wall he goes. Contact. Hayden Gullis, rightly or wrongly, up into P2 there. El Tacoman says thank you, free position on both of them. So Tacoman up in P2 now. Punju dropping down positions down into P6. For the McLaren driver, but we'll go up the front. It's Matty D in the Rebels, over 6 seconds clear now of the further back two. Hayden Gullis and El Tacoman will continue to fight it out for second and third, but it is Matty D that wins race number 3. But Hayden Gullis just holding on to P2 here. El Tacoman will not have the legs to make it to the line. He will secure P2. El Taco in third. Chesnoy comes home in P4. Curbs in P5. And then you have to feel for Punju here. A poor finish to the race for the Papaya McLaren, and he will come across the line. Points, though, secured, albeit not as many as he was hoping for.
And it is lights out and away we go. Not a good start from El Tacoman, who we are on board with in third place. Very good start for Mr. Dale from second on the grid, and he could be taking the lead on the run down into turn number 1. Will Punju try and fight it around the outside? Dale very late on the brakes, as is that Red Bull livery car further back. Punju assumes the race lead once again, and it was Hayden losing a couple of places as well. El Tacoman dropping behind Curbs. Good start for the hard-shod Invicta car there in third place. Hayden squabbling with Matty D13. Look all the way over to the left-hand side. They're not given any room there between Hayden and Matty. I think that was squeezed all the way over to the right-hand side of the circuit, reminiscent of Alonso and Rosberg over 10 years ago in the real-life race, but it is still Punju leading Dale, and then Curbs up into third place. Two-horse race out in front. Punju goes very defensive all the way over to the pit wall on the right-hand side. Dale says, thank you very much then. I'll use all of this space you've left me on the left-hand side. Who's going to be later on the brakes? It looks like it's the dams of Punju, but look at Dale swinging it around the outside. Got the run through and gets the first place, and that is the lead changing hands as Dale gets up into the lead and Punju slips down into second place. Behind them, I think El Tacoman's managed to fire up those soft compound tyres. Is this going to be a dummy into the pits? Dale decides he is going to come in, and the Campos car is the first of the leading contenders to change tyres. Punju stays out, as does the group behind. We're going to see this battle between Curbs and El Tacoman continue on the run down into turn number 1. Who's going to come out on top? I think Curbs decides he's not going to have that. Ches into the pits. 5-second penalty, though. That's probably going to keep him in last place. A little bit of space around the outside, but off. That is El Tacoman, is it? Yes, losing it on the exit, and that is a potential podium absolutely gone. And there, yeah, dropping down to the back. Punju, that is going to be crucial, though. That could be the end of his championship challenge. It's not going to be a championship challenge, of his playoff challenge, because that is a 5-second penalty, and that could throw him outside of the podium places, maybe.
Gets the DRS saving from Dale in front, but they're going to go 3 wide down into turn number 4 here.
Hayden's going to be the big loser. Might lose a place to Curbs, who's come out on nowhere on much fresher soft compound tyres to eclipse the Prema and get up into the top 4. Absolutely, and Curbs could now be the main threat to Dale's potential race victory. Gap between himself and Punju, 1.2 seconds, 1.3. That gap has stabilised. Dale off the road again. He's got 2 corner cutting warnings. That is his third one, and that pretty much leaves it falling into the hands of either Match D13 or Curbs.
Down towards turns 14 and 15 once again. Curbs has the inside line on Matty D. Will he go for a late dive here? Yes, he will. Down into turn 14. Invicta versus Campos. Round the turn he goes. And it's actually Curbs coming out on top, and Will trying to challenge Dale down into turn 1.
I think we're going to see a change once again. Curbs up the inside. Can he finally make this move stick? This should be a little bit easier, but he goes a little bit too late on the brakes. Sliding out wide. Hayden. Dale's going to try and keep his foot in it and slide around the outside. Bit of contact. That could have been a nasty crash for the two of them. Incredibly lucky they're both still pointing in the right direction. Hayden sends it up the inside of Matty D13. Is this going to be neat and tidy? Yes, it is. They bang tyres a little bit, but they're still side by side on the run up into the final couple of corners.
If there's one thing that's certain in this life, it is Hayden sending it up the inside. Dale backs out really early there into the final corners, caught up with Curbs, and it is Dale that's round. The man that was driving in P2 for so long is round in P5, and that surely guarantees demotion here.
Punju's done brilliantly, led the race for the majority of it, but a little lapse in concentration turned out to be quite a big blunder. 5-second penalty is going to kill any race victory chance he had. Crosses the line in first, but it is Curbs that wins the feature race in Bahrain. Matty and Hayden will complete the podium as Punju is relegated down into 4th place. And as we come up to the line, Dale, Ches, and then El Tacoman, who is a long way away at the back of the pack with those forced feedback issues.
So let's go have a look at how our drivers line up going into the final race. It's Matty D with 42 points. Hayden Gullis 10 points behind him on 32. Curbs and Chesnoid Gaming just holding the line, but at serious risk of relegation. It's El Tacoman, Punju, Mr. Dale, and F1 Alex. And for the final round of these playoffs, we're racing here in Las Vegas. Punju gets a fantastic pull away, but it's Dale immediately on the charge down the inside. Gets his braking zone correctly. Further back, Jesnoid looks for an early lunge down on El Tacoman. El Tacoman potentially still having issues, but Dale and Punju lead us away fantastically off the light restart. El Tacoman holding on to P3. Further back, Matty D and Hayden Gullis having a bit of a scrap for the final points playing positions. And Matty D looks to have made up that position. Punju has lost out to Dale though as they head through the first pig trotter through turns 6, 7, 8 and 9 here, and round they go.
Got to be careful though of the cars behind. Got a yellow flag. Not sure who it is for. Maybe someone's hit the barrier somewhere. Can we see everyone? No, it's Hayden. Well, he's already promoted, so it doesn't matter. But that is a disastrous start for the Ferrari. Front wing gone. Safety car called, and we are neutralised halfway around lap number 1.
on the fresher tyres. But here we go for the restart. Hayden and Matty come together further back. We're not going to watch that at the moment. The front three lead us away down into turn 1. Curbs look for an optimistic move down into turn 1. He's on the medium tyre. Chesnoid will be on dying softs. And as we run through the corners, it's contact with the wall for the Williams drive. A little bit of anticipation poorly from the Williams. It's AlphaTauri of Dale now making a charge. Look at the straight line speed. Getting themselves up into 5th and 4th respectively. And the battle at the front though, a little bit of a wobble for Curbs. This allows the front two to start to pull away.
How are your underpants, Curbs? That was a huge moment coming out of 12. Keeps it out of the wall amazingly out in front though. Dale, this is what he needed to do, get up into the lead, get back up into the lead. He does take it, Ches tucks into the slipstream behind and will remain in 2nd place. He'll probably be in at the end of this lap, losing a lot of time to Dale. Going to lose a position for his troubles as well. Through goes the Williams of Curbs. Relegates Ches down into 3rd place. Curbs, that is probably if he can stay there. Going to confirm his place very late on the brakes. Got to keep it out of the wall. Wow, that was a very hairy moment for Ches. That could have been fight absolutely one and done, or run there for the Aston Martin. As Tacoman and Punju negotiate 4th and 5th on the run up towards turn number 5. Can be a bit of a pinch point on the inside, so they've got to be careful who's going to be later on the brakes. It's Punju, but Tacoman into the side of the McLaren gives him another helping hand into the barrier and a spin, and that is going to be Punju's race run. No front wing for the McLaren. Oh, we're going to get a safety car. That would be terrible timing if you're Curbs and Ches, although it does bring them back up to the pack. We haven't got the notification yet, and we're still waiting for it. Safety car. That brings Curbs and Ches right back into this.
Careful where he goes. Final corner now. He launches just before that corner. Curbs gets a bit caught out. Further back, El Tacoman looks to make an early move on Hayden Gullis. Down the inside he goes. Hayden quite easily giving him the position there. He knows he's got nothing to fight for. And the Haas up into P3. Dale, 7/10 clear already of the Williams. But this is the battle that we've got to be careful of. Curbs almost losing out to El Tacoman. Chesnoid not making anything up off this race start. But El Tacoman gets around Curbs here for P2. Mr. Dale has broken that DRS string at the moment. 1.2 seconds as Chesnoid is up another position. Here comes the Aston Martin man.
Ches is currently in a position to hold on to his spot in the F1 series. As off goes Hayden. That was dramatic. Just didn't stop at all, did the Ferrari. Brakes certainly not working there. And that is going to be news to Chesnoid's ears. That's one less driver he has to deal with. Completely out of Dale's hands at the moment. He needs something to happen behind him, but Ches has got a comfortable 17-second window. He can cruise it over the line as Curbs gets up into 2nd place. Curbs in the Williams will be maintaining his seat in the F1 series and is now just down to the final few corners. Ches, just negotiate it, mate, and you'll be holding on to that seat. Dale has driven a brilliant race out in front. He's been quicker than a lot of drivers around. He's going to cross the line to take a win, is he, as he comes around the final corner. No penalties. The AlphaTauri driver of Dale wins. He spins it over the line, but it's not going to be enough despite the fastest lap. Ches is home in 4th place, and that'll be him holding on to that seat in F1.
So let's go and have a look then. It's Matty D who takes top spot. Curbs actually stealing P2 there from Hayden Gullis right at the death. Hayden joining Matty D there with the promotion to Formula 1, and Chesnoid Gaming just doing enough to snag that F1 seat for season number 6. Dale misses out by just 1 point. El Tacoman out by just 4 points, and then Punju, after an unfortunate few races in F1 Alex, we wish him all the best. Make sure he's okay. Those guys will be shown in Formula 2 next season.